let's get this party started. So we started in Indianapolis and we flew to Tampa International Airport to meet up with the rest of the squad. From Tampa, we all hopped on the same plane and headed on over to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Once we got there, we obviously jumped in our rental car and headed over to the Airbnb. Now, once we got settled into the Airbnb, and obviously the first thing you actually have to do at your Airbnb is check the place out from the outside to the inside of your Airbnb. So that's exactly what we did. We basically got settled, made the Airbnb ours, and overall picked our beds. And of course, for this trip, we're here for our boy Parker. It's his bachelor trip, so he got the master bedroom. Everybody else claimed their bedrooms, and then we basically were ready to get the adventure in Puerto Rico started. One of the best parts about our Airbnb, it was at the base of the rainforest, and we had our own basically river in the backyard that we could access from the backyard essentially. After that, the first and second day, we actually headed back into San Juan and went snorkeling. So check some of this footage out. It was pretty awesome. We had a guide that was with us that took us all around to see different fish, from all kinds of different fish that I couldn't even tell you what they are, to our group seeing a barracuda, to picking up a white sea urchin, and so much more. Overall, this was a great experience to kick off the trip, and of course we had to snag some pictures. Second day, we actually started to head up into the mountains to go cave tubing. On the way, we got to see Bad Bunny, the famous artist's school, and his actual home that he grew up and currently actually owns to this day. So it's cool seeing someone famous's property in Puerto Rico. Now let's get this cave tubing adventure started. So we all got our tubes, our life jackets, and our helmets strapped on, and we got it rocking and rolling with the familia.
How you can do it. Familia. We're family. Come on, everybody. At the count of three, you're gonna say Caribe. Okay, ready? Come on. 1, 2, 3. Caribe!
After that, we basically started making our way down into the river, and let me tell you, after a little bit of a hike to get started, it felt amazing. We jumped in the water, and then we got on our tubes and basically started the adventure of hopping and going through some caves. It was cool because throughout the way, we could actually stop and get out of the water, joke around, have some fun, and then it was back to hiking through the woods. And then we got to a point where we even got to jump into the water. Yep, we actually had to jump in the water to keep going. After we all jumped in the water, we basically kept the adventure going, and obviously we were all peer pressuring the people that weren't trying to jump in the water. We kept the adventure rolling, and we even got to eat some fresh star fruit that we got plucked right off the tree. And let me tell you, this was literally like candy, and it was the best thing ever. Hiking through these caverns was pretty cool, and we even got to see a waterfall. And the best part about that is we even went underneath the waterfall. We hiked underneath, grabbed some pictures, some videos, and it was so cool. After that, we actually headed back to the Airbnb and grilled up some food until the next day when we actually decided to go hike the El Yucatan Rainforest National Park. So we headed up the mountain since we were staying at the base of it, and we showed up and went to the visitor center to check in, to get the good trails, to get a map, and just check out the vibes from the entry of the park. And let me tell you, this place literally looks like it's out of Jurassic Park. Just check this place out. You cannot tell me this does not look like Jurassic Park. So we got settled, and we were actually there very first because it's something that's recommended because the park can actually fill up. So if you're ever going to go there, make sure you get there first, get to the visitor center, and then go straight to the top of the mountain because there's limited parking. At the visitor center, there's also a little kind of a museum and district trail that you can actually go. But after you go and visit the visitor center, just like we did, we headed right up the mountain to secure our parking spot because there aren't very many. So remember that. Check out this place. This is one of the 3 towers that we're actually going to hike to. And that was actually the lowest tower too, so that was crazy. From where you park, you can actually get a decent view to start it off, and then we basically kicked off our hike. Started with about a 45-minute hike, and along the way we saw some plants, and check this out. This was one of the plants that we found at the visitor center, and what they told us about, where if you actually touch it, it closes it up. Along the hike, you're gonna be able to stop and look back and check out all of the amazing views of the mountains. And as you're climbing, you can notice, oh, you're actually literally getting in the clouds. You're getting so high up there. We finally made it to the first castle, which I showed you earlier, and we basically climbed to the top of that tower. Once we got to the top of the tower, we basically took a break and soaked up all of the views. Yeah, even though we're kind of in the clouds, it was starting to clear up finally, so we could see a little bit of the land that surrounds. After that 45-minute hike to the top of the castle, we kicked it off with another 45-minute hike to the second castle. And we actually thought this was the highest peak, and we made a mistake, and it wasn't. After that, we took about another hour hike up the mountain to the tallest peak. And let me tell you, it was so worth it. Once we got to that third peak at the top of the mountain and the third castle, we snagged a pic. And once again, it was so worth it because you could literally see everywhere from here. You could see the Virgin Islands, you can see San Juan, you can basically see everything from this highest peak in the area. So it's something I recommend, but make sure you bring lots of water. Next day, we actually headed back into San Juan to do a couple different things and have some other adventures for another day. And another thing I love about Puerto Rico is basically everywhere you go in the background, there's just mountains there and views that are breathtaking. On this day, we actually headed in to go to the Mall of San Juan. And this mall was brand new and it was so nice. It's like a fashion mall, so it is some luxury stores, but I do recommend checking it out because it truly was a really awesome mall. And we went to the cafe at the top of the mall to grab some breakfast when we first got there, and it was delicious. From the coffee to the food, everything was good. After that, we went to District T-Mobile, and this place alone was so cool. It's not too far away, so I also recommend checking it out because the video boards in here, all the restaurants that are nearby are absolutely amazing. It's such a vibe here. I highly recommend checking out this place to take a quick break and maybe catch some music. They also have different concerts here going on and other events at different times of the year. After we left that, we actually walked back into San Juan, Old San Juan, and went to the castles. So one team actually explored one castle while the other guys explored the other castle that was there. So we basically went on the tour and explored each one of the castles and everything it got to offer, walking down into the tunnels and basically just checking it out. This part was awesome because it was so cool and had AC. Another cool part about going to these castles is just one, seeing all the history, and two, seeing the views from the top of these castles. You can literally see all of San Juan and just so many different areas from these peaks. You could see La Perla, which is an area you shouldn't go to in Puerto Rico, which I'm not going to talk much about that in this video. But after that, we headed up to the third and final peak from this castle and just look at these views. Look at how amazing it is. It's so worth it. To go to these castles, you can pay $10 and go to either castle in 1 or 2 days. Once again, check out these views of Old San Juan. So if you're ever in San Juan, I highly recommend it. You can also see some of the bunks and cannons that are at the castles and much more. After that, we actually walked through Old San Juan. So this was an adventure in itself, and after a long day, we got pretty hungry, so the boys and I all headed to grab some dinner. Let me tell you, it was delicious. So overall, I want to keep this video pretty short and I don't want to get it too long, so I'm going to end it here, but check out San Juan at night. I love it. All the views is just absolutely amazing in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I know for sure I'm going to be back once again because Puerto Rico was just so beautiful. Let me tell you, there's Burger Kings everywhere. It's like every mile you're going to see a Burger King. Let me know if you'd ever go to San Juan or Puerto Rico in the comments below, or if you have been there. See you next time.